Okay, so I'm trying another perspective along with shooting the video in linear mode, meaning it's not that fish-eyed look, which I don't like. It's not very realistic. My whole goal is to try to give you a true point of view, driver's perspective, and that fisheye lens is just ridiculous. It makes the windshield look all bizarre. Anyways, it's a cold start. Rain today. It hailed. So here we go. Sure, I'm in neutral. Let's get the lights on. Yeah, front fog lights are on. It's what time is it? 6:08. There's my indicator that's letting me know that there's some kind of light issue. I already put my seatbelt on. I'm trying to reach for my seatbelt. So I'm gonna turn that off. I like the interior lights of this car. It's kind of old school. I think there's an upgrade. You can upgrade all the lamps to LED, and I thought about doing that, but I don't know what it would look like. It's almost, I think it would look too modern in a way and take away from its kind of 80s what is it, that non-LED condensant type lighting, that orange softer glow. Anyways, I like the lighting of this car, the dash. I think it's really good. Anyways, we're gonna go on our little drive that I always go on. I think there might be some traffic today because it's 6, but hopefully it won't get in the way. I'm wearing the helmet again, but again, like I said, it's right off of my visor, and I got it wet. It's right off of my visor, and I'm in linear mode. You don't get to see as much. Like, you don't get to, I don't think, get to see me shift as much, or it's not a wider square view, but I think it's more realistic, which is way better. Here we go. Let's make sure there's no cars. I'll lower the windows so you can kind of hear it. So when I start off on the car and it's cold like this, I look at this. These people, look at this. Look at this crap. Anyway, so I don't rev it really super high when it's cold. The one thing I have heard in the three Porsches I've had, and like an 87 911 and 88 911, both Carreras, both coupes, and in this car, in the forums and in general from the owners that I bought it from, everyone has said you don't warm up the car, you just drive it, from cold, just don't take it, to red line, that kind of thing. Like, keep it below 4,000 RPM, and that's what I've just maintained doing. I'm not sure what the reasoning behind all that is, but that's what I've done. I mean, in any other car, I think it makes sense to warm it up. I've been doing that in my 4Runner consistently, and I think it's helped maintain that car very well. But in this Porsche and my other Porsches, I've always just started and drive right off. Don't let it warm up and idle or anything like that. Got more traffic. What is this? Oh, this might be a boring drive. Look at this. If you don't like my commentary on other drivers in this area, then I don't know what to tell you. It's so overwhelming that I have to say something about it. I've lived here in the Bay Area for a very long time. I've lived in Fremont for over 3 years. I've lived in Milpitas for a little over a year, which is even worse than this area. But it's a combination of bad drivers, poor civil engineering, that that set up the lights the way that they set it up, and bad drivers. So it will take any normal, calm person and basically make them go insane when driving in this area, or just completely give up and just assume that it's going to take you forever to get wherever you need to go, and just don't even bother trying to get anywhere in a timely manner, which I haven't accepted fully. I still am constantly having to go places and try to make things on time, but I think the majority of the people that live here don't have any place to go under a particular time constraint. They're just out, you know, like, we're just gonna go over there, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. We're just gonna go over there, and anyways, I digress. So the car, I wanted to get a nighttime type, you know, perspective as much as I could of, you know, driving the car, what it's like driving the car. You might be asking yourself, like, why do you have so many videos? You know, do you really think people care about you driving the car? And I don't know, but what I do is actually watch these videos myself, like when I'm at work or whatever, and it allows me to kind of like experience the car vicariously, you know, like when I was driving it myself, although I probably won't watch this one much, but it lets me kind of experience the car myself and drive it again, because I remember what it was like, and it was kind of fun. It just takes me, you know, takes me away from work to take a little break and drive my car. So anyways, there's, you know, lights behind this dash, and I noticed that they were all good. The bulbs were all still good and everything like that, but the connections weren't always solid. So I kind of cleaned everything up behind it, or when I replaced the foil, and it's working nicely. I really like the look of that. Can you see that? It's just like, and if you know how the light shines on it, it's kind of cool. It's not like, I don't know, it's kind of, that's what I like about this car. It just kind of made a certain way that that is kind of cool. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah. So we're batting 1,000 here on this lock. Hopefully that'll just continue to work. I'm gonna take this road a little bit, although it probably won't be the safest thing to do, but I'm gonna drive this. Oh, that guy's going up there. Darn. So we're gonna take this a little bit and then turn around. Get back and have dinner. Also, if I make these videos too long, I can't edit it very well. I've got kind of like an old school Mac. It doesn't have a lot of memory, and doing it from the cloud is very difficult. So if I'm in the 30-minute range, it's just like takes me literally all day to kind of upload this. What the hell is going on? What is this? Ah, see, this is my luck. What is that? Why does he have like flashers on? Like, what is the purpose of that? Here we go. I'm gonna turn around here. What the hell? Enough of this. There's a car coming back. Nope. So, like, my ABS light isn't on, whereas before it would be on. Again, I think that's just a sensor. I don't think it's actually the ABS, although I've never actually experienced the ABS on this car. It hasn't been necessary to flip the lights on. Look at the headlights can pop up. That's another cool feature. I actually thought that would be it's like before I bought this car, I thought that was like a really cool feature, and it is. Don't take me wrong, but I don't particularly like driving it with it up. I just don't want it getting damaged or anything like that, or just feel like it's sticking up out of nowhere, and I don't like it kind of there. But before owning the car, I was like, oh, that's the coolest thing. You don't see that anymore. It's super quirky. It's like only a handful of cars actually have it, and the fact that this works is really cool. The other thing, the European car, it's larger. It's actually like 8 or 9 inches in diameter versus like 7 for the US version, and then it's halogen, whereas the US version is not, I don't think. And now that I got oil in the car, it's like transformed it. Amazing, right? Who would have thought? The other kind of lighting, you got the flashers here, you got rear defrost, and I actually had to get a new relay for that. The relay was bad. When I turn it on, it would do some odd things to the rest of the car. That's the other thing with this car, is that it seems like all the different electronics are kind of connected, or they share a ground, or this, that, and the other, and it's kind of like, if you saw the wire diagram, it's kind of like makes sense, or it doesn't make sense, but you can see how the grounds are all connected. And what ends up happening sometimes is if one piece doesn't work correctly, like a relay or a module doesn't work, it obviously doesn't work for that module, but it also affects other things, and so you kind of end up trying to fix something else, and you realize through your troubleshooting that it might be, or you end up somewhere totally else. One of the biggest things I had with this car, the thing that took forever, absolutely forever, and used like every brain cell I had to figure out, was a problem I was having where at the end of the doors there are these little red lights. Those would stay on all the time, regardless of whether you turn the lights off or not. And the door lights would go off, but they would go off only partially, like maybe 80 or 90%, but it would still dimly stay on. And I could not track it down. I ended up doing a bunch of stuff, like there's a central electronic unit, or CE something, underneath here where all the fuses are. I even pulled that out, the whole board, and you look at the back, there's a bunch of wires, like spaghetti wires. I looked at every single 12-volt line along with the ground to see if there's arcing and whatnot, and there was. So I fixed all that. There's all these things I went through. I mean, it was I don't know what the right word, I mean, like, incredible or tremendous, I don't know what the right word is, but it was just crazy. And I almost basically, I did, I kind of gave up. I was like, all right, I guess. And so the problem was I couldn't like leave the car without pulling the battery, or the negative terminal, and so I would just have to do that, otherwise it would just drain out the battery. It really bothered me. I mean, that's something that's like significantly bothered me, that I can figure that out. I mean, it was months. I literally worked on it for a very long time. So it wasn't until I just sat there almost in a fetal position, in a very vulnerable position. There's a new Corvette, and just repeating the failure, and realize what it was. It was this relay that's right down here. I think it's like it's not, I don't think it's a central locking relay, but anyways, it's the buzzer for like seatbelt and your lights are on or whatever. It's that kind of buzzer that comes on when your key is in the ignition or the lights are on and you leave the car. I think it's a key ignition thing. So the previous owner or somebody at some point had used a Audi one. It literally had an Audi, something like Audi or something like that on there, and it was actually missing the ground. It didn't have a male ground pin, and so that was the problem. So once I got like the correct part, I bought it used because the new one's like way too expensive, and I put it in there, it fixed it, and it was like the most I don't know the right word, it was like so incredible that I fixed it. I was so glad. I don't know what to tell you. There's that Y-sack rear steering, passive rear steering. Yeah, it was like the coolest thing. Anyway, so that when I fixed that, holy crap, man, that was like if I could high five someone, I would have. It was that good. I don't know why I'm telling that story. Why did I start that story? Anyways, these drives are kind of like a window into my consciousness, which may not be that great, or subconscious. My thoughts in my head. If they bother you, just hit the mute button. Alright, I'm going to turn this off. That's it for tonight.